Hi everybody, welcome back to your science lesson. I'm Mrs. Davis. Thank you again for joining me today. We're going to crack straight on with a challenge that I've got for you all to do with insects. So I want you to have a go at identifying the insects. Can you do that for me? So if you want to pause the video and have a real good look at them, please do. I reckon that you will definitely know some of them. They look quite familiar. You might find them in the garden or out in the parks or just around on the pavements as you walk past, or some of them look like they've got wings. They'll probably fly past you. Right, what do we reckon? What about this little fellow up here? Do we know what this one is? Shout it at the screen for me. Yes, well done. It is. It's a beetle. Fantastic job. Well done. Bit of an unusual looking little insect there, aren't they? But they are. And this next one, I definitely reckon you know it. Yeah, you see, you're already telling me. Yeah, we've got a ladybird or a ladybug, also known as well. And this one, beautiful. That's got lovely patterns, hasn't it? It is a butterfly. Fantastic job. Oh, what about this one, though? Bit unusual. I think I can see some wings here. Little funny crisscross eyes. Makes a funny sound, too. A very irritating sound if they get stuck in, like a bzzz. That is my best fly. Well done if you got that one. Fly impression. I reckon yours would do better. I reckon you could do a good fly impression for me. Brilliant. Oh, this one, there's lots of these about. Yeah, an ant. Well done. It's funny, interesting seeing them up close, isn't it? They're very detailed. Normally we're so tiny, you can't really see. But yeah, oh, this one was a bit challenging, I thought. It's got these little pincers on the end. Do you know what this is? It's an earwig. Well done if you got that one. That one's a bit of a tricky one, but there's all those different types of insects. Do you know anything about insects? They have 6 legs, don't they? Well done if you got that. Brilliant. Right, so for today's lesson, we're looking at understanding food chains. All right. As always, today you will need, please, a pen or a pencil, a paper or exercise book if you have one. Right, let's start with some of our important vocabulary, which is going to come up in today's lesson. Now, again, I won't tell you exactly what these words mean yet because we'll speak about them as we go through, but I just want to check that we know how to read them and you can say them with me. All right, so this first one, we've got producer. You'll say that with me, producer. Well done. And this next one, we've got consumer. Consumer. Brilliant. Well done. Now, this one, it's actually the word prey. Now, you might have seen prey also spelt with an A, P-R-A-Y, but it's one of those homophones, a word that sounds the same, but it's got different meanings, okay? So we'll have a look at what this type of prey means as we move through the lesson. And then we've got this one. I reckon we can do this one in a bit of a scary voice because you'll see as we do the lesson why we might want to do this in a scary voice. But this word is predator. Can you say it in your best scary voice? Predator. There you go. There's a few of my very silly examples. What can you do with your scary voice? But the word is predator. Brilliant. And the last one is transfer. Transfer. Okay, fantastic job, guys. Well done. Now, we're just going to start with a bit of a recap from yesterday's learning about different animals and what they eat and what we call animals that eat different things. So do you remember what those animals are called that get their food and they from plants? They eat plants only. Do you remember? I reckon you do. It's herbivores. Well done. These animals are called herbivores, and there's a few examples of some herbivores there. I'm sure you could probably add some of your own as well. Right, next recap from yesterday. Animals that only eat other animals. Meat. Basically, they only eat meat. Other animals, they get their food from other animals. They are called, shout out the screen for me, carnivores. Yes, well done, carnivores. Fantastic. And there's a few examples of some carnivores there. Again, I'm sure you can probably add your own. And then these last ones, it's what humans are. They eat plants and other animals, so plants and meat. Do you remember what we can fall into as well as other animals? They are called omnivores. Yeah, fantastic. And there's a few examples of some other omnivores as well as what humans are as well. Brilliant. Right. Fantastic recapping, guys. Let's move on then today to actually what is a food chain. Now, a food chain shows how each animal gets its food. So food chains are one of the ways that living things depend on each other to stay alive. So we all know, as we know, you did your learning on what basic needs are for animals. Food's one of those things, isn't it? So a food chain is definitely one of those things that is needed to make sure that we all stay alive. Okay, now a food chain is all to do with we get energy from food. So we need to eat to make sure we get energy and it keeps us alive. All right, so example of a food chain would be one of these. So we've got, this is a basic food chain. We've got here a caterpillar. We've got a shrew. Okay, which is it's like a larger sort of mouse, really, a shrew. It's a mammal. And then we've got an owl. Now the arrows, these green arrows here, they say the food chain, it means eaten by. So the caterpillar is eaten by the shrew. The shrew is eaten by the owl. Okay, so it's got to be eaten by. So the caterpillar is eaten by the shrew. The shrew is eaten by the owl. And that's why the arrows are pointing to the thing that eats it. Okay, so what about this one? Can you name which animal is eating which in the food chain? All right, have a go. What do you reckon? We've got a caterpillar, we've got a bird, and we've got a cat. Can you say it in the correct way? Well done. Fantastic, guys. So we've got here, haven't we? We've got the caterpillar is eaten by the bird. The bird is eaten by the cat. And we know that because we've got these arrows here. Right, guys, I've actually just got a now for you. I'd like to share with you a video. Okay, and tells us a little bit more about food chains. All right, so let's have a watch of this.
What is a food chain? All living things, including humans, animals, and plants, need energy to live. But where do they get their energy from? The answer is easy. All living things get their energy from food. Plants make their own food with the help of sunlight, air, and water. Animals and humans don't produce their own food, so they need to eat plants or other animals to get energy and survive. They are all part of a food chain. A food chain shows how plants and animals depend on each other as their source of food. For instance, a caterpillar eats plants, mice eat caterpillars, and owls eat mice. There, a perfectly simple food chain. And we can see food chains happening underwater too. Algae is eaten by small fish. Small fish are eaten by bigger fish. And bigger fish are eaten by sea lions, who are then eaten by sharks. There are lots of different food chains taking place around us, but food chains usually start with a plant and finish with a big, hungry animal.
Like me.
Brilliant. Well done, guys. So, fantastic job there. So, did you pick up on some of those important things there, which were primarily to do with the fact that there are food chains everywhere, aren't there? And it's really important that food chains are there, because if they weren't, we'd all go hungry because we all need to eat, don't we? Like I said before about the fact that it's our basic needs. So we need that food chain. Okay, so I'm just going to go back to the PowerPoint there. Okay, brilliant. So we're just going to look a little bit more on that. So I don't know if you maybe remembered or picked up from the video, but it said most food chains start with a green plant because green plants are a bit special. Plants are special. They make their own energy. They make their own food. Okay, and they do that from well, actually, we're going to learn a little bit more about how they do that next week. But they do that. They get that from the sun and from the water and from their soil, okay, that they're in. So each food chain starts with a green plant. And green plants are called producers because they produce, they make, is that one of our words? They make their own energy, which is their food. They get their energy from the sun, okay? So they're called a producer. All right, they produce their own food, which produce basically means make. Okay, so they make their own food, they produce it. So they're called a producer. All animals are called consumers because they consume their food by eating plants and other animals. Now, if you consume something, it means you take it. So they take their food from something else. Okay, so this little bird over here, he might be taking his energy. He's going to take his food. He's going to eat his food, and so he's going to consume that. He's going to take that food, and that way he'll get his energy. And then animals that eat other animals are called predators. These animals, the animals that they eat are called prey. Okay, so a predator eats its prey. All right, so let's have a look at this as an example in a food chain. All right, so here we've got a mixed up little food chain. It's not in the right order, I don't think. So we've got a cow, we've got a person, and we've got some grass. All right, and we're going to have a go at putting that in the correct order. Now, I remember thinking back from the video that every food chain, normally most food chains start with a green plant. So I think that the grass is going to have to go at the start. Okay. Oh, now, what is the grass eaten by? The grass is eaten by, well, I don't think we definitely don't eat grass. So it's got to be the cow, and I've got to remember to put my arrow in because I'm saying the grass is being eaten by the cow, okay? And then the cow is eaten by the human. Well done, because cows are eaten, but we can, humans do eat cows, don't we? Because that's what burgers and steaks and things like that, okay? So, let's have a look then. I jumped ahead then, never mind. Let's have a go. It's your turn because I reckon you're doing so amazing at this. What do you reckon? I want you to pause the video and have a go at putting these in the correct order. Brilliant. Well done, guys. Fantastic job. I reckon you all know, don't you, that the grass is going to have to start, isn't it? Because again, it's that green grass. It's the producer. It's making its own energy from the sun. It's making its own food from the sun and water and soil. So therefore, it's a producer. It makes its own food. So that's eaten by, did you remember which, that arrow? Well done. The zebra. Well done, or zebra. Okay, so the zebra, the grass is eaten by the zebra. So that zebra consumes the grass. And then the zebra is eaten by the lion. Did you get that correct? Brilliant. I bet you did. Well done. Okay. And you've got the producer, you've got the consumer, and you've also got the consumer. Which one would be the prey? And which one would be the predator? Do you know? Which animal would be the prey? It would be the zebra. Well done, because the lion is the predator because he's hunting the prey. So the lion is eating the zebra. The zebra is eaten by the lion. So the lion is also, although it's a consumer, is also the predator, and the zebra, as well as consumer, is also the prey. Brilliant. Well done, guys. Fantastic job. Oh, do you want another go? This one looks like, oh, we're going a bit into the sea now, aren't we? What have we got here? What have we got here? We've got some seaweed. Followed in that is eaten by, what do we reckon? This is like a sea slug, okay? And the sea slug is eaten by the crab, and the crab is eaten by the seal. Well done. So again, that green plant, that seaweed's producer, makes its own energy, makes its own food from the sun, and then the sea slug is a consumer, as well as the crab being a consumer, as well as the seal being a consumer. And also the sea slug is prey to the crab, and the crab is prey to the seal. So the seal is a predator. Well done. Okay, fantastic, guys. I would like you to have a little go now. I want you to pause the video, and I'd like you to have a go at answering these questions. If you want, you can write the question out very neatly in your best handwriting as always, and write the answer underneath it. Or you can write the question in the answer. So what is a producer? A producer is, and you can write your answer if you prefer. So I'd like you to pause the video, please, now and have a go at those 5 questions. There is a challenge at the end for you there as well. So we've got, what is a producer? What is the prey? What is a predator? Number 4, where do green plants get their energy from as a producer? And then number 5, order and draw a snake, grasshopper, plant and frog into a food chain. Label them producer or consumers. And then, like I say, if you want to put a challenge, you could think about, what do you think would happen in the food chain if there was suddenly lots more snakes? Pause the video now and have a go at those 5 questions for me. Well done, guys. Welcome back. Fantastic job. So should we have a look at these answers? If you'd like to mark, please do. So we've got, what is a producer? A producer is a green plant. They are called producers because they produce their own energy. Now, I added a little bit more detail there, but if you've put a producer as a green plant, fantastic job. If you've said why they're called a producer, even better. Remember, they produce their own energy. They make their own food. Produce means make. What is the prey? An animal that is hunted and killed by another animal for food. So number 2, you'd have to put something about an animal that is hunted, is killed or eaten by another animal for food. Okay? What is a predator? An animal that preys on other animals and kills them to eat. So do you remember when I was doing the vocab and we said you can do it in your best scary voice? It's because a predator preys on other animals. So it hunts and kills them to eat. And number 4, where do green plants get their energy from as a producer? The answer is the sun. Okay, and order and draw a snake, what's a snark? A snake, a grasshopper, a plant, and a frog into the food chain. Label them as producer or consumer. Now, I'm sure you've done beautiful drawings. So we should have a plant to start off with, which is the producer. We would then have a little arrow to a grasshopper, which is a consumer. Then another arrow to the frog, and then another arrow to the snake, and those are also both consumers. Remember those arrows, eaten by. So the plant is eaten by the grasshopper is eaten by the frog, and the frog is eaten by the snake. Brilliant job there, guys. Well done. Fantastic. Now, I've just got one more thing for you to have a go at if you so wish. Now, this is a little Food Chain's Continual book, which basically just means that it's a little book that folds out. And I thought that if you wanted to, as a bit of a challenge, you could make a food chain for a certain type of habitat. Because obviously we've been looking at habitats, haven't we, as well? So just going to stop sharing for a minute. There we go. Fantastic. Now I made one. Now you can't laugh at my drawings. I'm not saying they're the best, but I made one and I did an ocean. Can you see that? An ocean habitat food chain. Okay. And if you then pull it out, I've got the producer, which is my seaweed. Okay. And the seaweed is eaten by my fish. And then my fish is eaten by my seal, and then my seal is eaten by my shark. All right, and I've labeled them producer and consumer. So you could make one of those. They just fold in and out like that. Okay. All you need is a piece of paper and some colouring pencils, or just a pencil if you've got one. But if you'd like to have a go at that, please do. I know that your teachers, when they see them and you're able to go back to school, would absolutely love to see one of those. Thank you again for joining me today, guys. It's been lovely to see you. You have worked so super hard, and I am really proud of you. Have a lovely evening. Take care, and I will see you very soon.